We've been all over the world and live again from somewhere in the southern hemisphere.
Yes,
It's myself, Fatty, and
Prague. And oh, I am excited. I know I always say this, but I've never been this far south. I think the furthest south I've been is Cuba. So if that's any hint to which region we might be
oh,
in,
that's the furthest south you've been, eh?
just furthest south. Yeah.
At a resort. That's proud for you, but we're trying to get them out with these virtual tours. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Ivan on this call. So, Ivan, come on. Hello, Ivan.
Hi.
Hello,
Welcome
hello.
to Isolation on the Road. Thank you for having us in your city. What's your city's name?
So this is San Pedro Sula, located in the beautiful Honduras.
Beautiful Honduras. We made it to Honduras. This is so exciting. We are
Yes.
so excited to have you on. I'm going to pass it on to Prav to get us started.
Yes. So Ivan, let's dive right into it. We want to know how it's been being an ICM student, being in Honduras. So how are you liking it so far?
I'm loving ICM. I'm loving ICM. I was a little bit skeptical at the beginning because, you only live this freshman year of college experience once. And once they sent an email telling us that it was going to be fully online, I was like, oh, should I defer? Should I, just take this time to, I don't know, do work on something else? But I wasn't really sure about starting my studies online. But then my mom was like, yeah, you should do it. What are you going to be doing for this 6 months? So I was like, hey, I'm going to jump in, I guess. So I enrolled in my courses and I was still a little bit skeptical, but then I started receiving my first couple of lectures, and I was so happy by seeing the support system from the advisors, from my classmates, and from the professors itself. So I'm just really happy I made that decision to start online.
I'm so
Wow.
glad. I'm so glad to have you online. And those emails that you were getting were probably from me telling you that we had to defer. But I'm so glad, or telling you that we had to go online. And I'm so glad that you took that leap and you're with us now. And you're loving us so much that you've even taken on to drawing the University of Manitoba logo, which I see behind you. Did you
Right
do that?
there.
That looks great. All right, we got to get some copyright in here now that we have logos. All right, Ivan, I'm going to ask you about Honduras. So tell me, Prab will probably put somewhere on the screen where Honduras is. I'm not great with my geography, but tell me about Honduras. What should we be eating? What should we be doing in San Pedro Sula?
Okay, so let's start with San Pedro Sula itself. So my home city, San Pedro, it's like the industrial capital. So if you're coming here, you're gonna see a lot of fabrics, a lot of big industries. So if you're coming to look for a job, if you're looking for a job in Honduras itself, you should come here to San Pedro. So it's a pretty busy town. Everyone is here and there. There's a bunch of hotels. Uh, there's a bunch of marketplaces. There's a lot of things to do in here. So what Prab has there, his background picture, is the cathedral in the center of of my city here. And so it's a pretty busy place. The cathedral is usually open. Right now that we're in lockdown, I don't know if it's open, but it's usually open all year long. You can just go there and see everything, the architecture and everything going on in there. And then what you have, Fatty, is like the center of my city. So there's like a small park in there. There's a McDonald's. There's so it's pretty nice. I really
That's
like it.
awesome. So
Wow.
forgetting about McDonald's, what kind of food should I be having when I'm in San Pedro Sula?
Okay, so when you come here, you must at least taste this three things. So
Okay.
first of all, we have the baleadas. Baleadas are like a flour tortilla with some beans, with sour cream, with cheese, eggs.
Oh,
You can add a little bit of avocado slices if you like it. Um, and it's pretty much like a burrito, but you don't wrap it up like a burrito. You just flip your tortilla. So
nice.
that's one of, we usually would have this like for breakfast, and it's really tasty. They sell it almost anywhere in here.
Wow. That
Nice.
sounds
Then
amazing.
yeah, then we also have tamales. right now that the
Oh, yeah.
holidays are right around the corner, tamales are like the must have. So I think you've heard a lot about tamales, but they're varied depending on what place in Central America you're in. So I know that they also make tamales in Mexico. They also make tamales in Guatemala. They also make in Nicaragua. So they taste a little bit different, but in essence, they're almost the same thing. And if you like a little bit of sweet, you're more on the sweeter side, or you have a sweet tooth, you can take montucas, which are like sweet tamales. Like the dough is a little bit sweeter because it's made out of corn.
Nice. Well, I wrote these down, Prab, for you because Prab, as you all know already, does all our editing, basically does all the work here. And he always has a hard time watching these again and trying to figure out what food our students sent or said. So I wrote them down for Prab just in case, but Ivan, do expect an email from him because he's going to need the right pronunciation of that. Prab, over to you.
Yes. Oh, man, that sounds amazing. And I think everyone here knows both Fadi and I are huge foodies. So we could spend the rest of the episode just talking about the amazing food. But I think let's bring it back to your studies. So you've mentioned that you've been studying online. I know you'd also mentioned that where you're currently sitting is your study space. So do you have any tips for students that are currently studying online, just study tips in general?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. I think that the first thing that you have to do when studying online is keep a schedule, because it's so easy to fall off because you don't have that pressure when you're on campus and you know you have to do this because you see your professor walking by. And when you're at your house, you're just like, yeah, I know I have to do this. But you always need like a schedule to keep you on track and remember what you have to do. I even have mine.
I see your to-do list back there. I'm trying to look what is in there.
I think isolation's on the list. I hope so.
Yeah, always.
So I would say that's like my top tip. Another thing is that you try to stay in one place when studying. Like, if I know it's really easy to, take lectures on your bed, take lectures on the living room where it's a little bit more comfortable, but try to keep it in one place, because this is just a little bit psychological, I would say, but keeping in one place just tells me that I need to study in that place. I know when I enter this room that I have to finish my assignments here, I need to take my lectures here. So I would just recommend you doing that.
Keep a study space. Yeah. That is great. Now, you've alluded to some of this in the beginning, but for future ICM students, we have a lot of students that are watching that are still thinking about our January term. Do I start online? Do I start in person? One piece of advice that you have for them, why they should study online. And the other thing that I badly want to ask, before forgetting, I want to ask now, what are you most excited about when you come to Winnipeg? So go ahead.
Okay, so what I would tell ICM students who are still thinking they should defer, or what should they do? Should they wait? Should they enroll? I would tell them that they should take this leap of faith just as I did, because believe me, I don't regret it. I'm super happy with my professors. I've been able to make friends. I've been able to, have the support system. It's the same thing as the same support system you would have if you were in person. The thing is, you're at your home country, sitting in your desk, sitting in your chair, but you're still receiving everything. So just take it. Believe me, you won't regret it. And what was the other question? I'm sorry.
What are you excited about when you come to Winnipeg? What are you most excited about to see or do?
Okay, so I'm very excited about getting to know the place. I'm really excited because I love just getting to know the cultures. Because I love Canada because it's a very diversified country. You won't only know Canadians. You will be able to know a little bit about everyone in there, especially going to an international college as ICM. So I would just like getting to know not only the place, but the people and their different countries and their different backgrounds.
That's awesome. All right, Prab, over to you.
Yeah. Wow. Yes. No, we're super excited to have you joining us as well, Ivan. Whenever the borders open, whenever you're in Winnipeg, we are looking forward to all the wonderful field trips that we have with our students, with our student leaders. And overall, it's a lot of fun. For those of you watching, you generally know that Fadi and I tend to keep these very lighthearted. But we are truly thankful for the platform that you've all provided us, and we do want to use this platform to raise awareness as well. And when we were talking with Ivan about some of the things, he had brought up the hurricanes in Honduras. So I wanted to open up the stage to Ivan to share a bit about the hurricanes as well as raise awareness of what's going on locally.
Yes. So as Prab previously mentioned, my home country, and not only my home country, but many of the Central American countries were hit this year by not only one, but two hurricanes, Hurricane Eta and Hurricane Iota, which were very strong. I believe Iota was intensity 4, I would say, and Eta was a tropical storm. So thankfully, I'm doing good. My state wasn't hit as hard as others, but the hurricanes affected, the places where the hurricane affected the most were the rural areas, people who really depend on the agro industry, people who really depend on, working outside and that kind of stuff. They fully lost their homes, their jobs, and they were taken to these places in order for them to be safe. But this caused the COVID cases to rise because they were not taking all the measures necessary. And the sad part of this is that these places don't even have enough food. They don't have enough masks. They don't have enough hand sanitizer. They don't have enough beds. People were sleeping literally on the floor. So it was just really sad to see all this hitting my country. And once people were able to go back at home, they had all this piles of mud on the floor. They had lost almost everything, if not all. And it was just really, really sad. So a couple of people here in the community just decided to, work together to make small donations, either of biosecurity materials or food or anything that was available. So people are starting to return home slowly because still some areas are a little bit flooded. For example, the airport here in my home city was completely lost due to the hurricane. So we don't have an airport anymore. But they're slowly starting to rebuild stuff. They're draining the government decided to, drain a little bit of the water off, and things are starting to, get back to normal. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you for sharing a little bit, and as Prab said, we're so privileged to be allowed into virtually, but into your home countries and to learn about you and to learn about the culture and what you're doing. And we felt the need to also highlight this, and this is why we were away last week as well. We wanted to give you the space and have you ready for our show. So a huge thank you to you for sharing a little bit, and I know there'll be more information in our comments section for those that are interested in learning more about the initiatives that are happening in Honduras and the initiatives that you talked about, Ivan.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Ivan, on behalf of our team, marketing, recruitment, everybody, student experience, student success, we love having you on. You embody the true essence of ICM students and that passion and love and care. And so thank you so much for having us on.